And now it's my honor to talk about Congressman Eric Swalwell, who's right there. Right? Eric Swalwell is standing right there. And like Nate Miley earlier, Eric was an early adopter. He was here with us years ago, and he's been here every year ever since. He has a lot to say about LGBTQ rights and equality. He has a lot to say about what's near and dear to my heart, and that is gun control, like it or not. I think that's important. Eric does too. Eric Swalwell also talked about Castro Valley Pride on the floor of Congress. It's in the congressional record, and it's only in there because of Eric's work to help us. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Swalwell.
Give it up for Billy. Every year. And give it up for Austin, because I know how hard Austin works too, along with the whole Castro Valley Pride team. My name's Eric Swalwell, and I have the distinct pleasure of representing the congressional district where Rachel Maddow grew up. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. When I was on the presidential trail, and you've got 5,900 candidates out there, and you get 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the country, or to a living room, or to a union hall, for me, I only had to start by saying, I represent a congressional district in the San Francisco Bay Area where Rachel Maddow grew up. And everyone's like, okay, we get it. You're vetted because you have really, really smart, forward-thinking, inclusive constituents. And that's the beautiful thing about this congressional district. But we know it has not always been this way, even in the Bay Area. When I was an Alameda County prosecutor, I was the hate crimes prosecutor. And one of the last cases that I tried was a hate crime against a lesbian woman attacked here in Castro Valley. And again, we think this is the Bay Area. We're so accepting, there's so much inclusiveness. How could that happen? It's not just happening in places that we've never been to. It's still happening right here, but it's happening less because you care, because you show up, because you vote, because we all love each other, because of the pride that we all have. So thank you. But we've got work to do. And I want to just first give you the good news. The good news is this last election, when everything was on the line, as dark as it was coming out of the 2016 election, the day after the inauguration, women marched. Women led us. Then there was a march for science. Then we had pride celebrations around the world. Tragically, there were shootings, community after community, and students started to march. And we moved our footsteps from the town squares to the town halls. And this last election, we won the Congress. We saved the country. And frankly, Billy, we cut our time in hell in half. That's what we did. We elected the gayest Congress ever. No, it's true. And as one of my friends, Mark Takano from Southern California said, he said, Eric, it's the gayest Congress ever that we know about. I think he's right. I led an effort to elect 28 members in their 40s and under. So it's not only diverse in every important way by ethnicity and gender, sexual orientation, geography, but it's a forward-looking Congress that will take on generational issues. First things first, we passed the Equality Act. Now we need a Senate that will pass it and a president who will sign it into law. The next president, I promise you, will lift the transgender person's ban and serving in the military. We have to lift that ban. So we have work ahead. And I'm inspired by the work that this community has always done. And yes, as Billy pointed out, the issue that I care about the most is ending gun violence. And because of what happened in Orlando and what happens every day to people in the LGBTQ community who we never hear about through gun violence, the unrestricted weaponry in our communities threatens our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. And I am determined, if not on the presidential stage, but in Congress and leading others, that we love each other, we love our kids more than we love our guns. And we will disarm hate. But we will do it together. because I believe that your right to dance at a club like in Orlando, to pray at a synagogue, a mosque, or a church, to laugh at a theater, or to hug your kid when they come home from class is greater than any other right in the Constitution. Period. So we've got work to do, Pride, but we've got a lot to celebrate too. I love this community. I love how far it's come. And I know that there are dark days where we're all led and come together down on Castro Valley Boulevard, and we mourn together, we cry together, but we also act together to make this a more equal, loving, not just community, but country. I love you, Pride. I love you, Billy. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Congressman.